Right, Kenny, here we go. It's time for your Celtic Dream Team. Before we get started, I'll just run through the rules again, in case anybody's forgot them. You can't have any current players. You're only allowed one Lisbon Lion, and you're only allowed one player that you didn't see. So, fire away.
Okay, so I'm going to go 4-4-2, traditional system. I'm going to go Borok in goal. That's not an easy decision. Between him and Foster, it's very close. Foster, I think, is a better shot stopper, but Borok's overall game, I think he was more dominant in the box. If you think his penalty save against Spartak to put us into the Champions League groups, if you think his penalty save against Saha to put us into the last 16, these are monumental moments in their history that he was directly involved in. If you think about his comedic value in the Old Firm games alone probably gives him the nod, so Borok in goal. Right back, again another tough one, no obvious one. I'm going to go with a Gat at right back now. McNamara was more consistent, he was a captain. Lustig had a much bigger trophy haul, but I don't think, when Gat was at his peak, I don't think either of them could play at his level. He was the fastest player I've ever seen in the green and white hoops. He terrorised Juventus in Turin in 2001. I remember being at an Old Firm game when Bert Konteman scored late on with that long distance shot, but Gat that night was tremendous. He dominated on an Old Firm game from right back. I don't think I've ever seen another right back that could reach that level, albeit from time to time he was a bit suspect defensively, but he was at a really high level.
Yeah, that's, some people might think that's a surprise inclusion, but I'm kind of glad you've put him in. Do you think he was underrated?
I mean, he cost 60 grand, so he was a weird one. When he first came in, he was a bit unheralded. I think overall he was underrated. He was one of these guys that was a bit inconsistent. He could get caught, because he was such an athlete and he would bomb forward, he could get caught out at the back. But when he was on his game and he was bombing forward, no, people just didn't know how to cope with him. They didn't know how to handle his speed, and that was right at the highest level of the game. They didn't know how to cope with him. So in some respects, I think he was underrated. But yeah, on balance, I'm sticking him at right back. Centre halves. The first centre half, it's simple, it's got to be Virgil. Look, Virgil has just been picked to the Ballon d'Or by Lionel Messi, so it's simple to think, well, he's got to go in. But even if we discount all of these out, the fact that he's now the best defender in the world, and just look at his time at Celtic, he was incredible at Celtic. The only slight criticism of him I would have is he sometimes looked like he was playing within himself because he was just so talented. He would waltz up the park, people would just bounce off him. He'd wander up and lace in 30-yard free kicks. You might remember at Firhill one night where he did this outrageous sort of spinning nutmeg out in the left wing position. And at times I just used to think, what are you even doing here? You're just on another planet. How did we get you? And we probably didn't get enough money for him ultimately in the end, even though it was 13 plus a 15% add-on. So he's a stick on for centre half. We'll not see some more of that. Yeah. In beside him, again not clear cut. I was thinking about Roy Aitken. I was thinking maybe about Alan Stubbs, because he's got a fair degree of class, Stubbs. But I've gone for Paul Elliott. Now I'm just old enough to remember Paul Elliott and his career and his contributions towards the end. And he was a Rolls Royce of a player. He was so athletic, powerful. He could play with the ball at his feet. He's the only guy I've ever seen score a daisy cutter diving header against Rangers in a cup final. And when he left, he was in a really poor team and he won Scottish Player of the Year. And we got $1.5 million for him off Chelsea when he left, which 30 years ago was an enormous fee. I don't think Chelsea would be paying that for Roy Aitken, as good as he was. So although he was only here for a year or so, I'm going to go Elliott. I just thought he was a bit of an icon.
That's obviously he was before my time, but I have heard a lot of people rave about him, so I like that inclusion.
Yeah, he was something else. Left back, it was an easy one for me. I'm going to go Tierney. Tierney, I remember his debut at Dens Park when he was 17. And my dad turned around to me and said, who is this scrawny little scruff of a boy trying to come on the park? He's never going to make it. And it looked that way. He didn't look like a footballer. But within a few months, I remember he's sort of, in my mind, his breakthrough game was against Molde. We got beat, it was a poor night. But he was unbelievable. His power in the tackle, his runs that became trademark, they all came out as just a little teenager in the Europa League. And I remember leaving the stadium that night thinking, well, we've got something here. You know, wow. And well, I think we should have held out for 30 million for him. I didn't think 25 was enough for him. He left under a bit of it. I was a bit surprised he left, but I'm not going to hold that against him. I'm not in the camp of thinking that, he betrayed us in any way. That's a difficult judgment to make. That's an enormous, life-changing prospect he had in front of him. I do believe he's a Celtic man, and he might end his career here, you never know. So, here on the left back, into the middle of the park, I'm old enough to have watched McStay through most of his prime, and that's another easy one. I think probably the classiest, most intelligent player I've ever seen in a jersey. He would put people through a goal from angles and from positions deep in the park that you would just never believe he'd be able to do, purely because of his vision and his ability and his weight of pass. And he did something that the modern player would never do. When Celtic were on their knees, he could have gone to Italy for serious money and he would have been a star there, because he was absolutely European top level class, and he didn't. He stayed when Celtic were on their knees and he signed a 5-year deal. And because of his love of the club, he was about the only shining light for us through a really difficult period. So that alone warrants inclusion, but his ability, he could have stood out in any era for Celtic. And beside him, I'd say not an obvious one. I could maybe have said Paul Lambert. Certainly, I think Callum McGregor, if he was within the rules, I would have picked. Yeah. But I'm going to go with Wanyama. And Wanyama, again, he didn't play here that long, but he was a box office player. When Victor Wanyama was on your side, nobody bullied you in the middle of the park. Nobody got near bullying you in the middle of the park. He came here as a 20-year-old kid. In lockdown, we've probably all been watching on repeat the Tony Watt Barcelona night because we're bored. Wanyama, that is possibly the greatest club side ever assembled that played at Celtic Park that night, arguably. And Wanyama went toe-to-toe with him all night long as a 21-year-old guy, and he was a bull of a man, and I loved him, and I'm going to go with him in the middle of the park. On the right-hand side, I'll put in the Lisbon Lion. I'm going to go Jimmy Johnson, an obvious selection. Now, I didn't see any of Jimmy Johnson's games, so I can't pass too much of a critique on his ability. I've only seen videos, but what I have watched several times is his game against Real Madrid and the Stefano testimonial. I mean, that must be the single most jaw-dropping performance a Celtic player's put in any game ever. I mean, it's just outrageous. Inter Milan tried to sign him immediately after it, which was rebuffed. And I think he's probably the only player in our whole history where you can truly say he was the best player in the world when he was at the peak of the Celtic. Just a sensation. He was voted. I was there that night actually in the Armadillo where he was voted the club's greatest ever player.
I'm glad you've put Jimmy Johnson in, because I didn't put him in for my line. I went with McNeil, and Martin, who's the only other guy who's done it so far, he went with McNeil as well. And we've had so many comments saying, "Oh, you can't leave Jinky out, come on." So I'm really glad you went with Jinky.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult. That team is flooded with legends, so it's a tough one. But I just felt whatever I did, he had to be there. And then on the other flank, another tough one. I'm going to go Lubo. I was tempted to go Nakamura. Between Lubo and Nakamura, it's a toss of a coin who had the most technical ability, because they were both incredible. No, the only reason, and it might be a bit of an unpopular opinion, Nakamura was a magician, but there were certain SPL games at the time where, against low-level opposition, where I thought he was a bit quiet and he was a bit mediocre. He rose to the occasion in the big games, and he was incredible. Whereas Lubo, you got it every week. And that, when he trapped the ball with his arse from 40 yards at the sky against Hearts, that's the most sensational piece of showboating I've ever seen in a Celtic jersey. Zinedine Zidane said he's the best player he's ever played against. I mean, where the thing with Lugo is, what on earth was he doing for the 10 years before he came to Celtic Park? He should have been at Barcelona or somewhere like that. I don't understand why he was in the backwaters of the French league and then the German league.
I think that's something that everybody who talks about him says. Like, they can't believe that he was relatively unknown when he came to us in his 30s. So where was all that ability that we seen in his time at Celtic? Where was that for the majority of his career? He obviously had it, but it didn't quite click for him because he should have been playing at the highest level.
Yeah, I remember his debut when he scored. His debut was against Rangers and he scored a double, and he scored relatively early on, he scored a header. He didn't know what he'd done, he just didn't know where he was or what was happening, and the raptures around him, it was incredible looking back if you look at his face. He was a brilliant guy and he was just an outrageous showman that, although he was late on in his career and he was here for, I think, 3 seasons, I'd imagine most people would be thinking about Lugo for their dream team.
Well, he's made 3 out of 3 so far, so yeah. Only him, McStay, and I think maybe somebody coming up front are the 3 that will be in all 3 so far. Yeah,
so strikers, I'm going to use the card of the person I've never seen. I was going to put in Jimmy McGrory. Now, obviously I've never seen Jimmy McGrory, there's not even any videos of. All I'm going on is statistics and a couple of mad stories my granddad's told me, which are probably embellished lies. But if you look at his statistics, 469 goals in 448 games. He's 550 club goals, which he's currently the highest scorer of all time in British club football. He'll remain that way forever because, okay, the game's moved on and those stats are maybe a bit distorted, but I mean, it's incredible. He was subject to the only time Celtic ever will and ever have received a world record bid for a player from Arsenal. I think they bid 10 grand for him and it was a world record at the time, which Celtic accepted and he himself turned down. Look, that is an elite level person that we've had as part of our history. We'll never see him, but he's there, and I felt I needed to recognise him in my team because just those numbers alone are sensational.
Absolutely.
Alongside him, you all know, well, you know what I'm going to say. It's going to have to be my idol, your idol, everybody's idol, the king. Larsson can score from anywhere against any side. And the higher the level of opposition, the higher the level of Larsson's performance. It was incredible. And he sustained it week in, week out. I don't think I saw him play a bad game. Week in, week out for 7 years. He was committed to the cause. He could have went to Man United. He stayed. The saddest part about Henrik Larsson, my saddest memory of him was walking up to get his UEFA Cup runners-up medal. I was in the stadium that night and he walked past the UEFA Cup and he was crushed by it. He left his heart and soul in that pitch that night and he was phenomenal with his 2 goals. And as he walked past that trophy, he was devastated by it. And that was the mark of the man. And I'm so glad he went on to win the Champions League after that because he deserves it. And even when I think about him now, as a fully grown man, I'm probably going to burst out crying if we keep talking about him on this broadcast. But that's how much he means to people. And I don't know, he was sort of flighted to be manager not that long ago. I don't know if that'd be a good move. So I personally think you're better not disturbing what is an incredible legacy that he left behind. So, you know, I also did flirt with, and this will sound totally left field, an individual hero of mine was Pierre van Hooijdonk. Coming through the 90s and seeing him come in as an import, as a Rolls Royce player up front with his touch and his goal rate. He went on to be Dutch Player of the Year. He went on to score a free kick double in a European final. He was real class and he personally meant a lot to me as a young guy coming through the 90s and seeing his getting there. But I can't justify putting him in anywhere near Henrik Larsson or Jimmy McGrory. So I wanted to give him a mention, but aside from that, that's my 11.
Brilliant. What a team, man. As I say, some really good surprise inclusions maybe in there. Like Gat and Elliott, loved Dane. As I said, good to see Jinky finally make a team after me and Martin somehow omitting him, and McGrory as well up front with Larson. A lot of people in the comments as well saying about how can you leave James McGrory out. So what a team, absolutely phenomenal, mate.